all of our time basically negotiating contracts on behalf of clients, right? And so I think what we do is directly relevant to what nonprofits are doing on a day-to-day basis, hopefully like our clients staying out of trouble and not ending up in court. The page on binding contracts, this is an entire year of first-year law school contract scores condensed into one page. So, I mean, to be, you know, a binding contract, I mean, one of the beauties of our legal system is obviously that we can create private law between parties, right? There's a law out there that says you can't kill somebody else, and it's applicable to everybody, and the state enforces it. If Steve and I want to enter into a contract that says, you know, Steve, if you run across the street and buy me a cup of coffee, I'll pay for it, I'll reimburse you for it. Well, we've just created, if he actually goes out and gets the coffee and comes back, we've actually created a binding contract between us. It's a private law. It doesn't affect anybody else in the universe, but it is a binding contract between the two of us. And if I renege and I don't pay Steve, Steve has a right to go enforce the contract and make me pay him. So it's private law between two parties. Perhaps the most important piece is that once you've entered into a binding contract, there is somebody out there who will enforce it, and that's a court. And as Steve said on the details are important because if the court has decided that there is a binding contract and the binding contract doesn't actually cover a particular detail, which is important, the court will supply the missing detail. So that's the gamble from your perspective. If you don't get down into the weeds, if you don't get down into the details of the contract, then the court will say, well, they intended to have a binding contract, and if they had gone into the last level of detail, based on everything I know about the transaction, this is what they would have agreed to. And you may agree with the judge, and you may disagree with the judge, but it's really never in your best interest to leave that to the judge to decide. It's always better off to anticipate it.